It is another special edition of the latest news to keep you in the groove with Maya. Maya, who is on the line with us today?
Kim Rhodes.
Woo! Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm happy to be here. How are you?
Oh man, we are so good, and I know Maya is so excited to talk to you. She's a fan of so many things that you have done, and I can't wait to hear all about them, and I know the kids upstairs can't either, so Maya, take it away.
So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for calling in. I have been so excited to talk to you.
Oh, Maya, I am so honored that I'm someone you thought of interviewing. That's really, really flattering. So it is my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. So my first question for you is, when was the moment you first knew you wanted to be an actress?
I'm still waiting for it. I started acting when I was 19 years old and I was going to be an English teacher. And I thought, really, what a teacher needs to do is stand in front of a bunch of kids and keep their attention. So that's why I started acting. In retrospect, I always wanted to be an actor. I just didn't know that's what it was I wanted. I always dressed up in costumes and wrote elaborate scripts in my head for myself and other people, and got very angry when other people wouldn't say their lines, even though I'd never told them what their lines were. And I had a hunger to be heard and communicate and tell stories. I just didn't know that's what being an actor meant. And I just have not quit. I just keep doing it.
Oh, cool. So you played Carrie Martin in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and then The Sweet Life on Deck, which I loved both of those shows. They were hilarious. I was wondering, what was the best part of being a part of those shows?
Oh, well, that's hard to narrow down. The best part is a very superlative word. But I have to say the best part was the people that I worked with. It was not manufactured love. It was really genuine. And I learned a lot about myself and about people and about just some of the kindest things that have ever happened to me in my life happened on that set and from those people that I worked with. So I didn't know at the time how good I had it. And in retrospect, I think about the love that we all shared. And I'm not just talking about the cast, I'm talking about the crew and producers and, our director and our AD and just across the board. It was what you want a family to feel like.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. So did you ever have to do multiple takes of scenes because you would break character laughing?
Oh, the laughing, the cracking up. I will tell you. So there is a scene, there's two times, and it was Brian Stepanek who played Arwen both times that were when I was incapable. There were lots of times when I would laugh and then we'd have to go back once or twice, but there were two scenes when I lost it. And one, there was a birthday cake and he put his hand in the cake and then he picked it up and then he licked it and he went, "I like cake." And I don't know why I found that so deeply funny. And there was another moment, and I couldn't get through that. And there was another moment when we were all talking at once and it was, and then Brian just screams, "Dogs have cleaner tongues than people." And it made me cry. It made me fall down crying. There was another when Phil was dancing. He was doing this whole like weird dancing thing, and I lost it at that. Dylan and Cole could make me laugh just by staring at me. So yeah, there were many, many, many times that I tried to be professional and not mess up, because I knew that sooner or later we were going to have to cut because I was laughing too hard.
So you also played Sheriff Jody Mills in Supernatural, which is another show that I loved. Was it challenging to switch genres and go from comedy to supernatural?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I love the switching genres. And I'm going to say for me, no, because for the way I play comedy, I'm just acting. There's a different timing component to it, but I'm still just acting. I'm just in a different scenario. So, and they were both elevated, right? Like going from wacky hijinks and climbing up the wall because the satellite dish is pulling me off, to wacky hijinks, my son's a zombie. It's still pretty elevated. So they were both about committing to the story, committing to the character, knowing the reality of the emotional life, and then telling that story. So it wasn't as difficult as you would think. It was much more different. It was much more different, the style of shooting, because The Sweet Life was what they call a multi-cam. So there's 4 cameras that are all in different places. They're all running at the same time. So you do it much more like a play, and they record it and then they put it in afterwards. Whereas Supernatural was a single camera, which means there's only one camera. So when you see a scene where Jody is talking to Sam and it seems to go back and forth, those are 2 completely different times. And they put it together in editing. And that's a different, it's a lot, for me, single camera is a lot harder because I have to manufacture a lot more. You do it so many, like when it's close on my face and then it's full down here, 2 completely different times because you can't adjust in camera. Yeah, it's much more challenging to do single camera for me because you don't get a run at it.
Oh, that's really interesting. I never knew that.
Yep. Next time you watch like a movie, when you see it flip back and forth between the person's face talking and then the person's face, the other person, just know those are 2 complete. In fact, they might not have even been in the same room with each other. A lot of times stars will only come in for their coverage and then go away, and someone else will just read the lines while the other person is acting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't even have to be there.
So some of the episodes of Supernatural were really creepy. Did filming any of them ever scare you?
Yes. There was an episode where Jody's in the hospital because her appendix burst. And she looks in, the doctor's super creepy, spoiler alerts, and she looks in the window. And because I understand this is G-rated, I'm not going to tell you, but she just sees that the doctor's a monster. And they're shooting Jody's reaction. Well, when they just told me what I saw, like, you really played that moment. I said, that's because that was genuinely terrifying. I scare very easily. I have to watch the show on my phone because because when it's big, it upsets me. And also that way I can put it on silent and I just read the subtitles. And that's the only way I can watch Supernatural.
I remember that episode, and that it
was creepy, right? It was creepy.
Yeah, it was. I don't like horror, so I mean, I really like supernatural, but there were a lot of episodes that really kind of terrified me.
Yeah, I will tell you, my recommendation is watch it on a small screen and read. Well, I'm autistic, so I like to watch things with subtitles anyway, and it helps me so much keep my emotions regulated. So for me, that's super helpful because of my neurotype. But I think there's probably other people that it might help just read it, and then you can get a little distance from it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because it's the music that gets me too, right? The scary jump scare and that's it gets me.
Yeah. There are still scenes that really, really scare me.
Yep.
Yeah. So is there one project that you've been a part of that's meant the most to you?
Oh, I love that. I'll be rigorously honest and tell you the project that means the most to me is always the one that's been the most recent. I have been so fortunate in loving everything I've ever done. So I'll be like, oh no, this one was the best. Oh no, this one was the best. Okay, now this one's the best. So every time I get to do something different, I fall in love again. So they've all been incredibly, like there was a tiny little project that no one's ever seen because you can't really find it, but it was for AMC called The Lot, when I got to play a 1930s Hollywood starlet. And that was so much fun because of the history and the glamour and the story. And that was amazing. I was on a soap opera for 3 years. I loved doing that because that was such a training ground, and it was so hard. You were doing so much work so fast. And it really honed my skills for making big choices and big leaps and as opposed to just baby steps. I did stage for a long time, and the Shakespeare pieces that I did, I still, Twelfth Night, and then I got to go do Midsummer Night's Dream. Those are still some of my favorite things I've ever done. Yeah, I'm very fortunate in having love for everything that I get to do.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So what personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble?
Oh, I'm so glad you said trouble.
Yeah.
We're going deep. So the personality trait that has gotten me in the most trouble is thinking that things are about me that aren't. And my people call that taking things personally. I will be insulted and injured and respond with anger or pain when somebody was just doing math in their head. I will spend time powerless and frustrated and angry. And when you say gotten me in the most trouble, I mean given me the most level of discomfort. Mm-hmm. So I would say thinking that things are about me just because I have feelings about them has probably made me the most uncomfortable. Out and about in the real world, obviously I already mentioned that I'm neurodivergent. I am the kid who throws things into the conversation that's like throwing a ball bearing in a washing machine gear. I am the one that everybody's talking, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then I contribute, and I did not read the room right. And I'm the one that kills the joke. That doesn't get me in trouble. I now that I know where that comes from, I am amused at that. But there's a lot of times with the people that I work with that I have to say, oh, I did it again. Sorry. I'm gonna go get some water so y'all can recover from what I just did to the conversation.
I am actually the same way. I will just, if I have nothing to contribute to a conversation, I will just try to change the subject to something I can actually be a part of.
Total. And do you ever, I'm wondering if we share this in common, do you ever express an emotion that other people are uncomfortable with, but you think is funny? Like I have, because of my emotional experience in life, there's things that I laugh about that everybody else is like, you're not supposed to laugh about that. I'm like, it's fun. Yeah. Oh, no, not for you. Do you do that too?
Yeah, there are things that are like actually that are not at all funny, but for some reason, like I don't even like I won't find it funny, but for some reason I will just start laughing and I don't know why.
Oh, I laugh out of anxiety a lot, or out of a need to make another person. When I just got a neuropsych analysis, and that's one of the things she brought up. She was like, Kim laughs when nothing is funny. And I do that to like put the other person at ease because I'm anxious.
Yeah, I think I will like out in public. I think I sometimes laugh out of either like anxiety or being uncomfortable in a situation.
Yes. It is a big signal, especially, yes, those of us, I'm considering my audience. I won't go down that path, but yes, many of us exhibit emotional reactions that aren't appropriate in an effort to take care of other people's comfort.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I have like, a lot, I don't know. I get like very anxious when kind of being around like in a big crowd, or just sometimes like when I was in school, I always got very anxious being around the crowd and like around people that I didn't know. Cause I don't know, there's something about like, I was just kind of anxious about like talking to new people. And so
I think one of the reasons I became an actor is because scripts are involved and I can talk to someone and know how they're going to respond. Like that's pretty amazing for somebody with a brain that works my way, because I find I get so anxious thinking about how another person's going to respond, but not knowing how they're going to respond. So one of the things I've given myself is permission to just kind of go, oh, not up to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that anxiety. Ugh.
Yeah. So is there a show that you're currently binge watching?
I started watching Supernatural again. It's been long enough. I was binging it. I got up to season 4, and then I don't know if you can tell what a mess I don't usually live like this. We just moved houses. We moved like 2.5 hours away from where we used to live. So I haven't been binging anything besides iced coffee so that I can get my stuff figured out. But yeah, Supernatural was the most recent thing that I binged. And then I saw an ad for, have you watched Umbrella Academy?
I haven't.
I haven't either. And yet it looked like something I might like. So maybe I'll binge Umbrella Academy. I don't know. What have you binged recently?
Recently my family and I binged watched The Summer I Turned Pretty on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I don't even know that. What's that?
It's based on books. It's based on some books. And I thought it was good. I liked it.
What makes a bingeable show for you?
I think like something that really sucks you in and like makes you laugh, or something like if it's supernatural, like just something that really sucks you in and that you're like, I have to know what happens now. So Yeah, my family and I are now, we're binge watching the new show Maggie on Hulu.
Oh, do you like it? I've seen ads for that too, and I was like, "Whoa, that just seems so charming."
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. And and then when I'm alone, I'm binge watching Castle and the old show Night Court.
Oh my gosh, I used to watch Night Court. How old are you?
I'm 19.
19, you're not. That's what I was going to say. And then I was like, I think she's 19. Yeah, I used to watch Night Court when I was your age, when it was on television. In fact, the guy Harry, who plays the judge, is from my hometown. And when I was about your age, a little younger, because he was a juggler who would perform at community festivals on a unicycle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I used to watch him juggle on a unicycle.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are all the things I'm binge watching right now.
That is a good list. I like that. I like that you can binge more than one thing. I can't do that. If I'm digesting, if I'm hyper focused on one show, that is all I do.
Yeah, I try to stick to one show, but then there are like a bunch of, like I was watching Castle, and then I wanted to find where to watch Night Court, and so then I found that, and I started watching that, and now I just go back and forth between Castle and Night Court. So
that's awesome.
So, what would the movie of your life be called?
That's a great question. I would say, I'm going to go with So That Happened.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I think that would be the movie of my life. It would be So That Happened.
I like that. Who would play you in So That Happened?
You've got to understand that you just asked an actor who would play me, which means clearly not me, because someone else is going to be cast as me. We're looking for a Kim Rhodes type, but not Kim Rhodes. Who would play me? I don't know. How old am I? I would like to think, hold on a second. I can't use my phone. So we're starting young and cute, right? I can be younger and I can be cuter than I really am.
Yeah.
Who was Katniss?
Oh, Shailene Woodley.
Who? No, Jennifer.
Hold on. I'm thinking. I always, for some reason, get that confused. And The Fault in Our Stars.
I know.
Cody, Jennifer Lawrence.
Who was Jennifer? What's your last name? I want to say Jennifer Lawrence, but that's not the. Is it Jennifer Lawrence? I thought Jennifer Lawrence was the one married to Ben Affleck.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Anyway, her. Somewhere, what's really funny is that somewhere in the children's hospital, someone's listening to this and screaming the right answer to us, and we can't hear them. So to the person who just 5 times said the right person's name, I feel you deeply, and I thank you for your encouragement and support.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, like, I saw the first Hunger Games, and then I don't know, there was something about it that just kind of freaked me out, and like I didn't want to watch any of the other ones. But
I didn't see any of them. I just know that's the actress I was talking about, because everybody's always like, "Oh, you could play her mom," and that's painful. But I think then she would make a great me in my life, in my movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I got her and Shailene Woodley confused, but
I don't even know. I don't either. I can't think. Again, my face and my names have never lined up in my brain. I'm one of those people that will forget your name constantly, and people think that I don't love them. And I'm like, no, I love you. I called my husband by the wrong name for 2 months into dating him. So I just can't put names and faces together.
yeah, I understand that. So, what song always makes you want to get up and dance?
It's a song by The Cure called The Love Cat.
Oh, cool.
I know that's I do have an answer to that. Although the music, 80s alternative, new wave, Depeche Mode, Oingo Boingo, the first 9 Inch Nails, all of that stuff will get me up. I will dance anywhere. I am the kid dancing in the grocery store when my song comes on. I am the kid dancing at the gym with my headphones on. I dance all the time.
Oh, me too. And my family does.
What's your song? What's the one they play to make you get up?
Oh, there's a lot. Well, the first person that comes to mind is any of Tyler Posey's music.
Oh, okay.
And because we were just listening to him earlier. And so any of his music, I will like get up and dance around to and sing along. And then we were actually in a store like a few months ago, and Olivia Rodrigo song "Good for You" came on.
Oh, 100%. I tried to sing that at a concert once. I failed miserably, but yes, that is definitely, goes.
And I was in the middle of the store, and I just started dancing and singing. And I was like, if you're looking at me, this is your fault for having this song on. So, yeah. What is your favorite thing to do when you have a day off?
Horseback riding. I started riding 7.5 years ago. And I used to ride back at my old place. I used to ride probably 3 or 4 times a week. That was my happy place. I was not particularly good at it, and I'm terrified. So I'm not fancy, but boy, I love it. 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 It's magic.
Oh, cool. Yeah. My sister loves horses, and so she loves horseback riding too.
What kind does she do? Does she do Western? English?
I'm honestly not so sure.
Does she have a weird thing on the front of the saddle she can hang on to?
I don't think so.
Does she wear a funny helmet or a cowboy hat?
Helmet.
That's probably English.
Okay.
Does she jump over fences, or does she go around things?
No, she just goes around. She works at a barn, and so she rides when
she gets. Yes, all right, good for her.
Yeah. And I love horses, but I'm kind of a germaphobe, so I always get anxious. Like,
are you like that with all the animals, or with just horses?
All the animals. Like, I don't know. I'm a little bit of. I love animals. I love them so much, but I am a little bit of a germaphobe. So I.
Well, but now, wait, but Now, if this is an inappropriate question, please tell me. But you also have an immune system that means you have to, like, I wouldn't call that a germaphobe. I'd say that's you being aware that you have an immune system necessity, right?
I think because I don't know, when I was little and on chemo, I had no immune system, so we were always very careful. And so I think I don't know, I think just since then, I mean, I do still have to be careful, but I mean, I do have more of I do have an immune system, but I still have to be careful. A little bit. And so I think just I've never really gotten out of that mindset with things. So,
and that's what I say, is that's smart and appropriate. You know, I don't ever want to hear you feel like you taking care of yourself is a bad choice, right? Like, right. You just make different choices because you have different priorities in your experience. It isn't that, you know, your sister's not worried about something and you are. It's like you experience things differently than she does.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for putting it that way. Because and
I don't mean to, and again, I don't mean to define your experience. I just heard, it's just my little heart heard a little undercurrent of almost shame about like, oh, well, I can't do this and I'm like, no, you just do things differently. And the way you do them is perfect for you. So I want to just address that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. So is there a motto or quotation that you live by?
I wish. There's a lot of that I live by. No, because I forget it in a hot second. Yeah, I do like the idea that my heart will find its yes. Go towards love as opposed to away from fear. So there we go. Like my motto is choose love over fear.
Oh, I love that.
That's my, and I can always make that choice in anything, loving myself, loving the world, loving the moment. I can always look at my reaction and say, am I choosing fear or am I choosing love? Because for me, everything is broken down into those two options.
Yeah. Well, I love that. So I was wondering if do you have any advice or words of encouragement for the kids at the hospital?
I don't have advice. And I want to explain why I don't have advice, because I hope this helps someone. I am not in your situation. And so my perspective comes from eyes that are not yours. Your eyes and your perspective will always be right for you. So within that, what I want to encourage everyone to do, caregivers, patients, workers, is to give yourself the grace of having your truth. I mean, a lot of times when I'm uncomfortable or when I'm scared or when I'm hurting, I tell myself I shouldn't be experiencing that, either because it makes someone else upset or because it's not going to solve the problem or because I'm attached to an outcome that I'm not going to get. And that doesn't make the feelings go away. It just makes me try to silence them. And so one of the biggest pieces of love I give myself is to hold my heart and to say right now in this moment, whatever is good and worthy of being loved. So that would be what I can send, or what I'm inspired to say in this situation, that whatever you are in this moment is good and worthy of being loved.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Oh, right now, I'm just going to say, I want to think of a more exciting, more articulate, inspiring answer that will help you. And I can't. My answer is my daughter. My daughter is 100% a real life superhero. She is 14 and she is neurodivergent with just a beautiful collage of diagnoses. And she is fearless and honest and funny and unconcerned about the world's expectations of her, and undaunted. And she likes to swing on her swing and jump off and tell the world that she flew for just a hot second. And you know what? Who's the world to say she doesn't? So it's my daughter.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I just want to keep adding questions, because just talking to you has made my day. So thank you so much.
Well, I'm so impressed with you. I'm so grateful that you are giving the world the gift of your voice. Because like I said, right, the only eyes I have are mine, which means I can only see what I've lived in my life. So when someone like you, who has a life that so few people have a perspective of, for you to have the willingness to share your perspective actually expands my entire world, because you're giving me a gift that I would never receive through my own eyes. So I am really, really humbly grateful for what you're doing and the voice that you have, and that you are giving yourself permission to express it, which is honestly, like I said, a gift that the rest of the world gets to receive.
Thank you.
Well, it is my pleasure. I thank you, genuinely.
Well, I'm going to thank you both, but Kim, thank you so much for bringing your authentic, fun, funny, and just overall enjoyable self to us. I know Maya will keep us updated on where we can find you on the screen on her weekly show. So we know we can keep watching you and keep seeing you. And we are thankful for your time with us today.
Well, I thank you, Cody. And if you end up afterwards having a round of, I should have asked her that. I wanted to ask her that. I'll come back. I will happily come back.
Well, you are lovely, and we would love to have you anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And keep me posted. I'll send Richard my stuff so that we can stay in contact.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.